Hello and welcome to another episode of ZenChats. I am Zeneca and I am here to bring you another wonderful conversation with some project founders. This time it is from the project Zen NFT. So, yes, it sounds very similar to Zen Academy, Zen NFTs. They have the name first. They are famous for their bonsai project. So the Zen NFT bonsais launched in the first half of last year, so around May, June 2021. And it was one of the first NFT projects I minted. I loved them. Most people that see them love them. There really are these just gorgeous bonsai trees, and they're very calming and well put together. That was almost a year ago, and so it was just such a wonderful opportunity to talk to the team and see what they've been up to since then. They have a new drop coming out, the Forrest Spirits, which look even more awesome than the Bonsais. I think if that's possible, I think we're going to show you some sneak peeks during the video. So I definitely recommend watching and learning about this really cool project. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. It really helps. And let's jump right in. All right, hello, welcome. I'm so excited to be here with three people I've actually never spoken to via voice, and we've only had brief interactions on text. But they're part of a project that I've been a fan of for coming up on a year, the Zen NFT Bonsai project, as well as other things. But we'll get into all of that. Welcome, friends.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
What a year it's been! Like it's when did when did you launch the bonsais?
It was June 1st.
Okay, so in my
year.
head it was like April, but
I know.
it's all
When
a
I look,
blur. Right?
yeah, we started working on it in probably actually right around this time or a little earlier last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They so the bonsai trees, in June, they were one of my first NFTs. We were talking about that just beforehand, and they're just they give me such joy. I think they're so pleasant to look at. They're just beautiful NFTs first and foremost. I mean, I love them then. I still love them now. Could you maybe run through a bit of the backstory of what they are, where they came from, and then like how you went from the idea, back in this time last year, and then all the way up to launch?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, I knew Eternal was an incredible artist, and I wanted to, we were trying to figure out how to get him into some NFTs and get his art promoted and stuff. And then I participated in the like Chubby's Mint, if you remember that. And I didn't think there was still appetite at that time for large scale collectibles. I was like, oh man, we have punks, but I don't think there's going to be another 10,000 collection. And that was obviously completely wrong. And then I saw Chubby's go and I was like, oh wow, okay, there's actually there's a huge opportunity here. So I grabbed Eternal and Meister and I was like, yo, we need to make a collection for sure. And so we set the first meeting. We walked into the meeting and Eternal was like, I want to do bonsai. And we're like, perfect. That sounds awesome. It was
easy.
It was super easy. Like we literally, I think in the first minute of the meeting, practically that happened. And away we went. Eternal, do you want to talk about kind of why you picked bonsai and like why was that top of mind for you? I actually don't even know this story, I don't think. Like why were you thinking about it?
Oh,
I'm just gonna quickly jump in, just for the listeners, because this is gonna turn into a podcast. I didn't really introduce you. Your names will pop up for those watching the video, but that was Ancient Gardener speaking. And then we're also here with Eternal Caretaker and Seedmeister. So yeah, I just wanted to let everyone know, and then so hand back to you, Eternal.
I guess we should say that Ancient is kind of the project manager, a lot of the brains behind our marketing and everything. Then I'm the artist and a lot of the creative development. And Seed's our developer and also does a lot of marketing and managerial work as well.
Awesome.
So the bonsai, I think it was important to me to do something more calming and that made people happy and kind of more introspective as collectible art. I'm not a character artist. I come from the film and motion and VFX world, and I'm drawn to a lot more natural, like nature inspired art. And I just wanted to really do something that I could really say that I wasn't completely changing what I wanted to do in a selfish way, and just doing what I saw the zeitgeist asking. And we did take a little bit of a risk. And I feel really humbled that that was rewarded. But really just wanted to make something that was calming in such a hectic space. We saw that bonsai were really easy to assign attributes to, and we were able to break it down really easy. It's like, yeah, this seems like a good idea. So that kind of, I don't know, that's how it happened.
Off to the races.
Yeah. We also like it wasn't so clear that there was that it was a profile picture erase at the time,
Right.
you know, and that worked for us and against us, you know,
Yeah.
Because we found that people really love the artwork. They love to hold the bonsai. It's often, you know, we've got this multiple times from people who are like, that was my first mint. I have such fond memories. That was my start in the space, and they still hold the bonsai. So it kind of created it's like a very different NFT than a lot of the other kind of profile picture stuff. So it was interesting.
I'm proud of the mood. I mean, there's still people
Totally.
in our Discord that every day posts like affirmating, like, you know, supportive messages. And we get people talking about how they work in a hospital or hospice, and they show this to their patients and it relaxes them. Or we had a vet that says that he has PTSD and he looks at the bonsai to relax. And we've gotten quite a number of messages like that, which is kind of the most rewarding thing we can get from this.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you said about how it wasn't clear that it was like a PFP race or like a mania. To set the stage, June 1st, 2021, Bored Apes came out and like really started exploding. Only really in May, like they launched in April, but it wasn't till May that they really took off. And then we started seeing more copycat projects evolve out after them. Guttercat Gang and Cool Cats came a bit later and all that, but prior to that, it was, you had the CryptoPunks, which, they were the PFP project. A few people had hash masks. A few people had like Avastars, Mooncats, and there just wasn't this PFP craze. And so to me, I looked at the bonsais. I'm like, this is a really cool NFT, and I was thinking of all the use cases. In the metaverse, I'm going to put it in my metaverse plot, and then using AR, I have it on my desk, and I was like, hey, this is amazing. I remember people would make up like banners, Twitter banners, and have like the bonsai banners, and I thought that was really, really cool and different. But do you feel that not being a PFP sort of maybe hurt the visibility or adoption of the project?
I mean, I think about this a lot, and identity, right?
Probably, but honestly, no regrets.
Yeah. I agree with that. I mean, we kind of obviously we kind of felt that, right? Like you kind of need an avatar because the bonsai, it's like a passive item, right? It's something that you look at on your desk or you look at in the metaverse, but that's not you, right? Unless we have some people that really, really identify with it and make it their profile picture. But I think, to be an actor and have that be your identity, you do need kind of something more anthropomorphic, essentially, that you can identify and say, this is me. Right.
Yeah.
And that's why punks work so well, and apes. People really resonate with that identity in that NFT.
So, I mean, the launch was, if I remember correctly, very successful. It might have even been a gas war. It might have even been my first gas war. I remember it sold out quite quickly. And then there was this mania phase afterwards, sort of like most NFT projects, except there really hadn't been too many that had that going on back then.
Right.
What was that whole period like for you? Like, did you expect that? And, what was your reaction to just sort of like the outpouring of support, and then like all the general mania that, comes with all that?
Yeah. It was chaotic. It was wild. I don't think we didn't really expect that. The launch day came around and I think we had under 300 people in the Discord. And then by 4 p.m. we had like 3,000 or 4,000,
Wow.
And then the whole thing minted out under an hour. It was like 59 minutes.
Wow.
which we didn't expect. And we also didn't expect, we didn't know that Pranksy and Dingling were out here already minting in massive, massive quantities, right?
Yeah.
So they minted like between Dingling and Pranksy, I think that's almost 25% of the entire supply, and they still hold it.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, because we, I made a Discord role called the Imperial for anybody with over 888 bonsai, and I was like, nobody's gonna get this role. And then I was like, oh my god, we have 2 people that have this role.
That's amazing.
It was also, I was like actually like sick before the launch. Like I was like physically sick. I was like so nervous about it. And I was pretty confident.
You were the optimist.
I was, yeah, I totally was. You guys were like, oh, it's not going to work, or like nobody knows, la la la. I was like, we're the hottest thing on the NFT like scene right now. Like I know that, and also this art is kick ass. So there's, like I felt pretty good about it, but I was definitely nervous. The ensuing mania was pretty intense, honestly, and kind of, it's hard when you have that many excited people in there. And I was modding, so I was trying to promote mods out of the community from people who are being very helpful, and we promoted a couple people, and I had one guy who ended up like deleting a bunch of channels. And I was like,
okay.
Oh, all right, thanks, you're demoted. So, and then a lot of people still to this day are like, oh, like we could do this, we could do that, and you want to be like, yeah, that's an awesome idea, but it can also be very like distracting, so kind of dealing with like just riding that whole wave and excitement was really wild. Yeah, I don't. Do you guys want to add anything, Meister and Eternal?
Yeah, I remember the gas wars. People were complaining a lot that they didn't get a bonsai. And I remember someone suggested, oh, we should make like a rage bonsai and airdrop it.
Oh, yeah, right.
That was brilliant.
And then Eternal went and made Roots of Rage, and that made a lot of people happy because we airdropped that.
Literally that day, exhausted as I was.
It made people unhappy. I didn't get one.
Yeah, right. No, yeah, exactly.
So cool. These look so cool.
No, it went. So that was the gas thing. Like we had an over mint. So we over minted, and then anybody whose ETH that we accepted and didn't get a bonsai got a Roots of Rage.
Yeah.
Also, we refunded them.
And we refunded. But yeah, then exactly. Yeah, it was. People were like, "Wait, I want one of those," and we're like, "Oh." So we were trying. It was Roots of Rage. It inspired rage across the whole.
Yeah, we've taken.
Spectrum.
It is. We're growing our team, and we want to take in more suggestions that require more grand amounts of time to complete. But so far, I think we've had a lot of really fun moments taking in community suggestions. And that one in particular, as early as the NFT collectible community was before Bored Ape blew up, there was at that point already a lot of collectibles that were really disappointing their followers on drop by either pulling out or not addressing issues people had. And I think we all just really wanted to set the precedent really strong right away and say, like, there was some people that had a problem. They're important to us. Refund you, refund gas, give you a free NFT. We started working on it right away. We wanted to really become a long-term brand and company from that point on. And that was kind of like an important first step for us.
I remember thinking just how excellent of a response that was to it. Really just, no one could realistically be actually upset after that because they get their refunded. They get a really cool, unique piece of art that's in lower supply than the rest of the collection. And I'm sure that there's always going to be people upset eventually. But as far as responses go, I think that's pretty close to as good as you could possibly do.
Some of our upcoming releases are also community driven concepts as well. That we've warmed up. At first, it's like, I don't know if this will work, but now we're warmed up to it's like, actually, this is a pretty good idea. We should get to it.
That's such a cool thing about NFTs and Web3. It's like the level of involvement the community can and does have. Just it really is like a community. It's like these Discord servers become almost like this big family, really. And some of the best ideas do come from them.
absolutely right about the family. This isn't like contradicting that, but they're also our biggest investors. They've invested in our work and our product, and we want to continue creating what they want from it, while retaining amount of creative control on brand and image and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about the art a little bit, because we haven't really touched on that. And for anyone who's newer to the space, maybe doesn't even know what the Zen NFT bonsais are, unfamiliar with them, hasn't seen them. These are not like 2D JPEGs. These are 3D beautiful assets, basically, which you can take into a metaverse, which you can well, maybe I'll let you explain it. Just you'll do it better than me. But
yeah, they're 3D low poly stylized bonsai trees that when you purchase one, you get a beautiful rendered animation, high resolution PNG still, USD, a GLB, and the support from us and continued support to use those in Metaverse, in AR, like instantly on your iPhone. And we're building an app so that you can really easily access your wallet and view this and future drops in AR. That was like kind of our angle that we really pushed, is that this is an AR more than just an intangible JPEG NFT that you can bring into your physical space.
I'm actually going to share my screen just so people can see, because this is magic of YouTube. It means that those who are watching this on YouTube can now see one of the bonsais. It's just, honestly, they're just stunning. And did I hear you say that ongoing support for metaverses? That means that like you're gonna make them available in metaverses that are like coming out now-ish?
I mean, without releasing any information about actual plans, like that's our goal. That's our goal with Forrest Spirits as well, is that we delivered as best we could with the technology at the time with Bonsais. But with Forrest Spirits, we know more. We don't know everything yet, and we're future-proofing the included assets in that release to be as easy to use as possible for upcoming metaverses, rigged characters, FBX and T-pose, and with the personal goal that we have ourselves to help integrate those wherever we need to, wherever, either something from us or from other people.
Yeah, I love that. We're going to get into Forest Spirits in a bit in way more detail, but I want to jump to the water token, because I remember, again, when you launched on the website, you mentioned the water token as being something that holders would receive. I can't even remember the specifics, but then, if my memory serves, there was a bit of a point where you said, we've spoken with lawyers, we're not sure if we can go ahead with maybe the plan or what we originally said, and there was a bit of a delay. But I also know that now I'm getting water tokens for my bonsai. So can you talk through that whole journey, please?
Yeah, so we planned for that, or I had seen one other project, NFT project, that was doing it. So that was the inspiration, and that was Lux Expression. I don't know if you know his work, but so he had the Lux token and was using it with Tipsy C in his Discord to a pretty great effect. So I saw that and wanted to use it that way. I mean, basically, then it came down, and I was talking to the Voxa Deus founder, Sotiris, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, like, we had a token. It was like a huge headache. We're like in these legal battles right now. I would advise, like, you really need to iron that out if you're sure you're going to do that. And we're like, okay. And we basically erred on the side of caution, right? We're like, we need to do just like double down and do proper homework here. So we spoke to a bunch of lawyers, and ended up in a scenario where now each bonsai emits forever out of a smart, effectively forever, like 888 years or 8,888. Anyway, longer than we'll ever be here.
Yeah.
So hopefully ETH is still going.
Ethan Vitalik, if I don't know if you saw his chat, he thinks people are going to live for thousands of years soon. More power to him.
I mean, if anybody's going to do it, it'll be Vitalik, right?
Exactly.
He'll just materialize into the blockchain or something. Yeah. So let's see. What was I saying?
It emits over forever,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah, effectively forever. And it's in a smart contract that we don't control, so it's just out there emitting, right? Like we didn't take any as a team. The only water that we're receiving is from the bonsai that we hold personally or in our deployer wallet. So that's useful for us because we can use it, like to distribute in contests or giveaways or whatever. But the way that we're really thinking about it is it's not necessarily utility, but we want to use it to get special items, right? And this is actually, it's been like pretty challenging. I won't lie. It's been challenging to figure out the proper, reward mechanisms and architecture and when to use water versus ETH, right? Because we want ETH so that we can pay people because there's ironically no liquidity for water, right?
That's funny.
yeah, it's pretty funny. And that's something that we also don't want to stand up liquidity pools ourselves. So we're basically figuring out ways, and this is going to come over time. We have it in the app that we have a water store. So it's basically going to end up being redemption tokens. We're going to work on more collaborations with other artists and build rare things that you can only get with water, right? That are unique to our environment and ecosystem. Wearables like we did a Decentraland wearables drop, some kimonos and sandals and a hat. So things like that in the future will be purchasable with water, and that's how we're thinking of it. So if you're paying attention or you've been around long enough, that's how we're going to use it.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a really smart way of having the token just out there in the world, releasing to bonsai holders that you can then incorporate into your plans however you want. Theoretically, anyone could, right? Anyone could say, "Hey, we accept water now."
That's right. Yeah, totally. I mean, this is interesting. It's interesting to talk about it this week with Ape dropping, obviously, right? And I'm very curious to see what utility they're gonna bring around that token. I honestly haven't dived in super deep on what like the material they released, but it's interesting to like see which tokens are going to stick in the NFT space, right? Because you're trying to drive value around this secondary token, so people have to kind of believe in that ecosystem. Like Ash, right? Like Pax Ash is another example. But I think it's actually incredibly difficult to drive a token as like value beyond ETH. Like building that architecture and ecosystem is just, it's really challenging. But
it is.
We're up for the challenge.
That's awesome. Is there any element of a DAO or any plans to ever have a DAO, or is that just completely not an option?
Yeah, no, we actually have a community member who kind of stepped up and has been with us since the very beginning. His name originally was just some bonsai. Now it's Ananzai. And he's been an excellent supporter, great community member. And he was super interested. He came from DeFi. So he was super excited because we had the water token and he was excited for all these DeFi mechanics. And I was like, that's great. Like, I love that for you and us. So he wanted to build a lot of DeFi stuff around a DAO and spin it up. So we as the core team, or I see it this way anyway, that we as the core team are driving the product. We're making more releases. We're driving collaborations. And the DAO, like, we're just a member of the DAO. Like I see ourselves as a DAO effectively already. We solicit a lot of feedback from the community. We have a snapshot set up already. I think we used for one vote. So I guess the answer is kind of like, I really like what Bankless did with Bankless DAO. I think that's a cool example, where like they, that core Bankless team is their own like LLC entity, and that interacts with the Bankless DAO, and the Bankless DAO is empowered to go do their own thing, and interact with the core as needed, right? So I'm kind of just taking that model. And then as far as, I guess we kind of do have a DAO. We have about 25 contributors right now that are in kind of guilds. We're working on setting up our guilds of like marketing, design, product, etc. Maybe I don't know if you're already doing this as well, but like they're effectively kind of operating as the DAO, I guess. They're coming up with ideas, they're putting out content, and all around the Zen NFT ecosystem, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, DAO without quote unquote officially being a DAO, I think
Yeah.
is honestly, I think it's such a better option than most of the so-called DAOs out there. That like it's a lot of work and difficulty to run, and not to mention legal headache to properly structure and set up a
Yes.
DAO as an entity. And a lot of the time you ask for what you can do basically the exact same thing without that.
Right.
Yeah, with maybe like a smidgen of trust.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also like DAO work is just like hard work. It's like kind of
Yep.
boring, hard work.
Yeah.
Right. So people
It is.
people show up and they're like excited, and you're like, okay, cool. Like, what can I do? And you're like, here's this rather boring task, but I really need it done. And they're like, oh, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So like
write this proposal. And
exactly. Yeah. DAO incentives is another whole, like each of these things you can go super, super deep on, and has a lot of challenges.
So you launched not a year ago, like say 9 to 10 months ago. What have you been doing over that time, I guess?
We have been busy, and it seems like, I mean, marketing might not be our strong suit, but I feel like I know I've been busy. So
no, I know you've done a lot of cool things. Obviously the water, and then the upcoming
we did
Forrest
water.
Spirits.
We did,
but there were some other cool art drops along the way, if I remember.
Yeah. So this was actually we started a thing called community grants, and that was, we basically took proposals from the community for projects that they wanted to do. We wanted to sponsor and kind of promote community members that wanted to see things happen. One came from a guy called the Mantis, I believe was his handle, and he proposed that he wanted to do like an art grants program where we go commission artwork with other artists and then release it back to the bonsai community. So he kind of looked around and found this artist, CS Lim, who was doing really cool AI generative artwork. So we hit him up, engaged with him, and commissioned 13 pieces of art that he made. So we did, I guess it was 17 total pieces, because there were, or no, how many? 18. Yeah, because there were 13. We did 13 still images, and then 4 motion graphic videos, and then 1 masterpiece that was actually like a 2-minute video with full soundtrack.
Wow.
So that was really cool. I think we got really good response. People were really excited, like, wow, this feels like actual artwork in my wallet.
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah. So as a lot of kind of really cartoon looking things were coming out, we were trying to do some really high level art. So I think a lot of people liked that. That was pretty successful. We did the Decentraland wearables. And that was actually originally, it was a collaboration with MetaKey, and I don't think they ever released their half of it. But we made them a full colorway for the kimonos as well, and a collaboration tree there. We've been working on, we have an iOS beta app right now. So we like the AR component, right? We spent a lot of time on getting that working on the website, and like tutorials and instructions, and it just wasn't, like, some people were getting it. And then we had a partnership with an app called Treasure Chest. They had some challenges. There's really no great AR ingestion app on Android. So we were just like, man, we just got to build this ourselves. Like, we need this. Other AR projects need it. So we built that app. So we have it in beta. If you go into our Discord and do the !iOS command, it'll add you to the beta channel. So you can download that and check it out. It's awesome. And we're going to probably ingest other collections in there as well, or collaborate with like OG Crystals and maybe like Meebits and anything that we can ingest, we'll try to do that in the app as well. So you can use all those AR assets. So like I'm really excited about having the app. Like it's something that we've needed. We also have a meditation feature in there and the water store. So that's been a big
That's awesome.
area. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also going to allow us to improve the rendering of all the art in AR as well, beyond what just the iPhone AR rendering is capable of, or even model viewer on the website.
What do you mean by that?
So
Like,
the
yeah.
art in the when you see the bonsais as the rendered NFTs on OpenSea, you see like really nice lighting and there's like reflections and everything's just kind of lit and rendered in a really pleasing way. But the iPhone's technology to render that stuff in AR, it just doesn't have all those nice rendering features. So things look a little bit more plain and unlit and just not as exciting. So we are going to be able to control that rendering so things just like look a lot better and just a lot more, I don't know, peaceful and high quality when you view it on your phone in AR.
So like the default iPhone AR viewer is not great, but you're making your version that's going to improve it.
Well, hopefully we use Unity or Unreal Engine, and we'll be able to even gamify a lot of our NFTs right directly in the app. You create interactions, particle effects, control animations of the character, just really bring it alive.
That sounds awesome. Like, I'm after this going to go download the beta and
Yes.
try it out. Yeah.
Excellent.
I want to add on to that. We've talked a lot about this, but there's so much we can do with the app, like building a persistent like garden world in AR. So like you place your bonsai on your desk, you use some other app, and then you come back to the Zen NFT app and open it again, and all your NFTs, your bonsais are still there.
Oh, wow.
We can also add, so the app supports Forrest Spirits at launch, and Forrest Spirits come with one idle animation at launch. We have a few other animations like dancing and meditating, and we're going to add those to it'll be like one click, easy to view in the app in AR. And we've also talked about like adding gamification, like Tamagotchi style, feed your Forest Spirit. And with Unreal Engine, you can even do like interactive stuff in AR. So you can like tickle your Forest Spirit and it'll actually react.
That's so cool.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, I was just kind of reminds me a bit of like Pokemon Go when you like you can interact with your whatever the AR Pokemon. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've been referencing that.
Yeah. We've also thought, about like a definitely some kind of geocache AR game or something that we could do where you could find things in the world or place your bonsai in a place and you get an NFT or artwork or something. That's something that we're also exploring.
We don't want to solidify the state of the Forest Spirits just once on mint day on OpenSea, and there's a way to share and update your I don't know, use and play with the Forest Spirits through the app. Like this is a bad example, but imagine there's some breakdance event and Zen NFT like is sponsoring it somehow or says like if you show up at this event, pull up the Zen NFT app and you scan this code, your Forest Spirit can now breakdance in the app, and everyone we can add these animations or interactions that no matter when you minted your Forest Spirit, if you open in the app, we can update it with whatever we want.
That's so cool.
Also, to add to that, the way on the technical side, like the way the Forest Spirits are done, the model is separate from the animation. So we can release animations as NFTs. And if you own that animation, your Forest Spirit can do that animation.
Yeah,
so,
that sounds...
Yeah, you can buy and sell animations, or we will probably airdrop a ton over time.
So I've never played Fortnite, but I hear people talking about how you can like buy and sell dances and stuff, like where your character can dance. It sounds like that's a similar...
Can you do that now? Can you do that now? Can you buy?
Yeah, you can always do that.
Yeah.
But you can sell.
Oh, I don't know if you can trade with.
Oh, maybe you can't sell. Maybe you can't sell. I've been living in the NFT space too long. I'm giving them too much credit.
Like, of course you can buy and sell. Yeah, it's an in-game item.
All right, you can just buy and buy.
Yes, they've been very careful about the NFT space, Epic Games, but that is that would be a market for sure.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we've touched. I mean, we jumped into the Forest Spirits a bit, but we haven't really gone into what they are. I'm looking at your avatars here, and they look awesome. They're Forest Spirits. Tell the audience as well. What are the Forest Spirits, and also the Ancestral Seedlings, because I think they tie into it a bit.
The Forest Spirits are the ancient woodland creatures that raise the bonsai, and that is tied in a little bit of into the Ancestral Seedling story. But the Forest Spirits are kind of the next step in the mythos of the bonsai. We got the opportunity to expand this concept, and we're really excited about it. They're characters that take care of the bonsai and were born from trees. It's kind of where the ancestral seedling comes in. So ancient, I'm going to let you explain, or Seed kind of explain kind of like the mechanics of it in a minting sense. But the ancestral seedlings were the first forest spirits. So every forest spirit, there was an event in this world, in their world, where trees for a moment in time were able to give birth to living creatures. And that's how the forest spirits came about. And every forest spirit comes from a tree, and a select few, 888 of them, still own a bonsai of that tree. And it's kind of like their ancestral grandparent, that bonsai. And in practice, I'll let you guys talk about how that works. But the goal is, artistically, if you own an ancestral seedling, you are able to mint a forest spirit that looks like your bonsai. The same bark, the same leaves, the same fruit. But that's the kind of that's the goal there.
Amazing.
Yeah, we wanted to bring kind of another, another element. Like, we obviously saw the serums with the apes. I thought that was really fun mechanic. It adds some dynamism from the business side. You have another item that can be traded a while before the mint. And also, if you don't use it in this mint, we can use it in the future to augment other mints, right? Like, it just gives us another tool that we can apply in interesting ways as that, like, minting mechanic. Yeah, like Eternal said, in this one, you'll come to the mint page. You'll select a bond. If we see that you have the ancestral seedling in your wallet, you'll be able to pick the bonsai that you want to use. And every ancestral seedling can be used. So if you have multiple, like, I think our top holder of seedlings has 15 seedlings, which is pretty impressive considering we limited it to one per wallet. So that person will be able to, if they also have 15 bonsai, they can match up 15. So I think it's really cool because it's going to give you that a pair, right? And now I think, like, your paired bundle will be probably a little more valuable, a little obviously more rare. And there are attributes that you can only get through this process as well, right? That won't otherwise be in the collection. So I think I always like to, in my own collecting experience, I like when I have to make a choice. Or I don't like it, but it adds, like,
it's game theory or something.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes you think a little bit. It engages you, and you're like, what's going on with this? Like, I mean, with all the information in the space, it can also be annoying. You're like, what do I have to do? How does this work?
Yeah.
So I understand that as well, but for people paying attention, it's going to give them a cool little reward in the Forest Spirit Mint.
And so you said there were 888 ancestral seedlings. How did and they're all minted now, or they're all out there? How did people acquire them?
Yeah, so this was actually our first major water event. So you had to buy these for 333 water on the site, which was a good educational opportunity for a lot of our community on how to claim water via Etherscan. So yeah, we posted the page, and then we just did a raffle of wallets. Meister, remind me how do we select those first? We had a couple tranches, if I recall.
Yeah, so this is going to be boring. I don't know if we want to talk about this, but we picked 888 random holders, allowed them to mint with water for like 2 days. Then we allowed anyone with a bonsai to mint, and then 2 days later, anyone could mint.
Yeah,
and
fully public. Yeah.
the whole time you can only mint with water. There's only 888 total, and you can only mint one per wallet.
So then how many sold out, I guess, in each of those waves?
I think
so from the raffle, I think around 150 to 200, and then when we opened it up to all bonsai owners, it was pretty much like 700 or something. And then public, it minted out, obviously.
Yeah, I think there were like 200 in public. Somebody also stood up an analytics a Dune table for us around this. I just put it in the chat here. I don't know if you want to pull it up, but I thought like this was a huge success in my opinion. We have 754 unique holders, 701 single token holders. So that's awesome. Like this is
That's amazing.
as good as I could have hoped for it to go. Obviously, like the main concern always is not minting out, or like what you do in that case. So this is a huge success and a great first case for water, like where this is like a very solid reward. Another thing that's challenging about like picking the water price was we had to figure out kind of like emission rate. If you've been holding a bonsai for 6 months, how much water do you have? How much of that supply should it be? Because we have, we basically have water whales. So, but the majority of our holders only have one bonsai. And then it tapers off. I think over 10 is only about 150 people.
So how much water is emitted per day per bonsai?
It's about 20 per week. 20 water a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you would have had to have held for about
2.
16 or 17 weeks to have enough water.
Yeah. Or you could go buy it or convince somebody that you're a good person and they should send you send you water.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Right. Yeah. Because like for people that are holding 10 bonsai or whatever, like 333 water isn't a lot off their back, right? And most of these people have held since like mint, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then, so this was for the 888 Ancestral Seedlings, which will allow people to mint 888 Forest Spirits. How is what is the rest of the supply size like for the entire Forest Spirits collection, and how will people be able to mint or get them?
Yeah, so we're doing 8,888, same supply as the bonsai. They'll be able to come to our site and mint. Hopefully it's looking like early April, like the first 2 weeks of April. We're prioritizing bonsai holders. Yeah, Meister, what do you want to add something?
I think we can say that if you own a bonsai, you'll be on mint list. But we're going to take a snapshot so people don't game it too much. I think that's all the details we've released so far.
So the price hasn't been released yet?
No.
Not yet.
Okay. Not yet. We are that is a very, very popular topic right now, and we are spending a lot of time. I think we're getting pretty close. So we'll have something very soon.
No, I mean, it makes sense. Like, we're recording this on the 21st of March, so we're still like 2 to 3.5 weeks away, which seems close, but so much can happen in that time. Whenever I am advising a project, I say, as much as you can, just wait towards the closer to mint date, because ETH price changes, market sentiment changes, so much can change.
ApeCoin drops.
Yeah, ApeCoin drops. The whole space loses its mind. Yeah, you get a meteor. But
if you've been wondering what we've been doing since we minted bonsais, it's a discussing price for our next drop.
No, that makes total sense. So then you're going to have, do you see this as a PFP collection? I mean, you're using them as PFPs, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, we definitely do.
We're checking that box.
Yeah, so
100%. Like
they're gonna, Eternal can talk to this as well, but they are obviously, they come as 3D files. There's a gorgeous animation. We're working with Zeta, who's like a Decentraland guru, to help us build. We're working on skins, So the Decentraland is basically letting you have non-human form avatars. So we should be ready to go straight into Decentraland. So be able to run around as your Forrest Spirit. Like that's the goal.
Yeah.
We just have to make sure that we're formatting our files correctly. So I'm super excited about that. And then we have obviously like what you're seeing here are the PFPs, right? So we want to make sure that those are looking good in the square, in the circle. And
Works
then
in progress.
Yeah, and then you can also have obviously the 3D file.
Yeah, they just look gorgeous. Just, I mean, I would expect no less looking at the bonsais, but I'm very excited for this collection.
Thanks.
I mean, I sort of shudder to ask the question, but do you have a roadmap? I'm not a fan, but I mean, I think that a lot of people will want to know if you have plans going forward with the collection, and if so, what are they?
Yes, this is. I never know how much to disclose about roadmap. Yeah, I mean,
We
obviously, like,
struggle with this. We
huh?
struggle with this a lot. I
Yeah.
think with talking about plans because legal and securities issues.
Yeah.
We tend to be super risk averse about these things. But I think we can talk about things we are working on right now. Ancient, do you want to talk about the tea or anything else?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, like, Forrest Spirits are first class citizens of the Zen NFT ecosystem. Everything is kind of always going to be around them and the bonsai. As far as other projects we have coming up, we're actually making Zen NFT, like TEA, a beverage. So super excited for that. We've been working with this taste master company called Colexo. We just got the first samples back, and actually Eternal is like the only one who's tasted it, but he said it's really good. So I think it's interesting. That'll kind of be a digital physical twin item. I'm excited to kind of dig into the mechanics of how we're going to do that and acquire it. I think it might be another water opportunity for us. Yeah. So we also have koi that are really, really cool, that are going to be they're also AR ready. They'll be ingested in the app. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong here, Eternal and Meister, but you'll be able to have all of them in the AR scene, and they'll be kind of aware of each other. Is that right?
We can do whatever that's the yeah. I mean,
Yes.
once we switch to an actual game engine on the app, which is one thing that we're definitely going to do because we're super excited about it. Once we do that, then yeah, anything. And that's what we want to do, is make sure that they can all exist together, react to each other, special animations, interactions triggered by them around each other. The koi fish look amazing. We're almost done with production on those. We've been working on those pretty hard, and they're beautiful. It's going to be like a really classy premiere 3D AR NFT.
I'm excited. I can't wait. This all sounds like it's going to create such a pleasant Zen garden. Just this lovely space in Metaverse or AR. Excuse me. That I'm just really looking forward to. Honestly, I think a question that I maybe should have asked earlier, but why bonsais? Like, the first thing that came to mind 1 minute in the meeting, it was Eternal. You said, "Hey, I want to do bonsais." What was the inspiration for bonsais?
We want to do something that traditionally is like a meditative object, that it makes sense to actually hold and observe, and the bonsai just kind of like fit that category really well. It's also like in a real world sense is kind of like a collector's item. It's an item that you hold for a long time, that you revere, has high value, has longevity, and it just kind of like imbued all those aspects that we wanted to put towards our digital NFT, and we thought they were really pretty. I also lived in Japan for a long time, and I'm inspired by wabi sabi and Zen culture and aesthetics, and kind of that is in my mind as well, going into like coming up with artistic concepts. But I think they just the real world bonsais motivated the digital ones.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I think honestly, then, but even more so now, it's something that people in this space need, or like there
Yeah.
is a need for that in this
Yes.
space. This whole
Totally.
reprieve from the FOMO and the madness and the hype and speculation, just to have something a little calmer. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something that we all kind of needed ourselves, I think.
Yeah.
And that's a vibe in our Discord as well. It's like very chill. People who come in from other Discords who are newer are like, wow, this is so nice. It's really relaxed,
Supportive.
supportive. We have like a mental health channel. We have a pets and garden channel. So like people are posting like their actual gardens and stuff. It's great. I love it.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
I think that was basically all of my questions. I have a comment, which is just an anecdote that when I was going to launch Zen Academy, I was trying to think of names, and a few people said, "Why don't you go Zen NFT?" And I was like, "No, there's already a Zen NFT." Because cycles in this space, people who are new, they don't know what was around 6 months ago or 8 months ago.
Yes.
I mean, there were projects that launched in November, December last year, which I'm just thinking is just common knowledge that everyone knows these projects.
Right.
And then I have people asking, "What are you talking about?" And it's like, this space moves so fast, it's crazy.
It feels like it's
yeah.
been 9,000 years
I
since
know.
we launched.
I
Like
know.
it feels so long. Like
You know-
crypto time
Yeah.
is different time.
You know
Yeah.
what does it is that the space changes, and then the demands on a project or your
Yeah,
expectations
totally.
changes. So like when you're even like conversations about price or the future plans or the shape of your drop, just like when day to day what the right thing to do changes or what people are
Yes.
tired of changes,
Mhm.
then like that's companies don't usually go through that like 100 times a year.
No.
Yeah, totally. Like your whole strategy is constantly changing. And I mean that happened with us when we were planning the first drop, because like we were looking at hash masks and the other FOMO ramps, and
Mm.
then the apes came out with a flat pricing, and it was like, okay, this is
Yeah.
the model. Like this is how this works.
Yeah.
And then now we're in kind of like mint list zone, and those now seem like they're like sentiment is shifting around mint lists. Yeah.
You know what's funny? We're sort of going back a little bit to that price ramp or FOMO ramp, because now people were recognizing that mint lists were great if there's a hyped project, but if there's not hype, people are just not going to mint, and they're going to wait and see if other people mint, and then no one ends up minting. And then so projects were like, well, what if we give a discount to people who are on the mint list? And now it's like, well, if you're on the mint list, you get it cheaper, but then if you're not, price goes up, and then it's coming full circle a little bit, hopefully.
Right.
And I don't think we will ever get back to what it was like then. Like there were projects that were like, hash masks. The last one was 100 ETH.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was like the 3 ETH. Those tiers were wild.
Yeah, shout out to Keyboard Monkey. He bought that last one and kicked off the bull market. Yeah,
that's right. Legendary.
Yeah, it's been a wild year, honestly. Just
no kidding.
Just a wild century. If people are interested in bonsais or the Forrest Spirits, what is the best way to get involved? It sounds like your Discord is a wonderful place. Can anyone join, or do you need to be a bonsai holder?
No, anybody can join. We have a verified holders channel and category, but yeah, everybody's welcome. You have to pass the little reaction gate. Yeah, we have if you want to contribute, we have an intake form. Yeah, we're looking for marketers, designers, developers. Yeah, we've got a bunch of guilds. Oh, and also like lore people. I think building out the story and the lore is going to be very important for kind of the brand, and I want that to be something that we drive through the community.
I love that.
Yeah.
Eternal, earlier when you were talking about the story, you said the word mythos. Is there like, do you see the mythos, the mythology separate to the lore, or are they synonyms?
Oh, they're synonyms for sure.
Okay. I had an interesting conversation the other day where someone was talking about how they see them differently, and how
explain it to me.
It was actually, I'm doing them a disservice by saying someone. It was John Rogers, who was ex-head of franchise development at Disney. So
Wow.
he knows a thing or two.
Cool.
And
So
so I
I'm
was chatting
wrong.
to him on, well, no, he basically said that everyone uses them as synonyms. So I think that, and I had up until the point as well. But then he said, and we hadn't really seen an area where they could be different, but anyway, he said the way that he looks at it is the mythology is something that's created by the team, the founders, the project themselves. They can lay out the mythology, and then lore is anything that the community can also add, and I guess the team can also add to the lore, but the mythology is specifically set. It's like, what's the world that this all exists in? Yeah. And
Cool.
ever since then, I can't hear the two and think and not think that there's a little differentiation. So when I heard you say that, I was just wondering.
I love that division, actually. I think we should adopt it because I think there is a certain level of like core inspiration that we want to keep within the story of the Forrest Spirits, but we also want to integrate and have the community help build that story as well. So actually now I did not make a distinction before, but I'm honestly happy to adopt it so that we can start like kind of filling that pattern within our community.
Yeah, it's a wonderful model, I think.
We've seen some of that already with like left-facing mantis.
Yeah, right.
You're aware of this meme.
Yeah.
Do memes count as lore?
Yes, 100%. That's lore.
The same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
That's lore for you. Yeah, I remember there was a lot of because back when I was into minting the bonsais, it was like early on in my like flipping and trading NFTs career and looking at traits and flaws and stuff. And I remember there was definitely like this, like it's not actually a trait, right? It's just that some of them face left and people were like, those are rare and
right. They were I mean it was a lot of conspiracy around what is a left facing mantis, like what's it going to be, and we're like, oh, I didn't even know that was in there. Did you know that they were in there, Eternal?
Yeah, I knew, but I mean, I hate like dispelling like.
Don't ruin the magic.
Yeah,
don't
true,
do it.
True.
No one. This is what I'll say. No one can really know the magic and the mystery behind the left-facing mantis.
It's unknowable.
But also, something special might happen if you use them with your ancestral seedling.
Alpha. I'm going to go out and buy a left-facing mantis. Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, the beauty of it is that the lore and mythology can build off of each other. So you can now, if you want, take that left-facing mantis lore that the community crafted and then build it into the mythos of the, you know, whatever you want. And it can become a much bigger thing, I guess. Yeah, anyway, that was a small tangent, but I'm excited just to hear how much thought is going into just the story and the world building in the universe, because I think that's a extremely important part of what will make or break projects in the very long term, and the most successful projects and yeah, the brands basically will be ones that understand the power of storytelling.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Exactly right.
Well, this has been wonderful. I have truly enjoyed speaking with all of you. Before we do wrap up, is there anything else that you want to touch on or bring up that we haven't gone over yet today?
Zen NFT is delicious. Our drink, I just want to say.
For a second there, I was like, where is he going with this?
Right. Not written out. It's confusing.
Yep. Zen NFT TEA.
Yeah. Zen NFT TEA. The drink is delicious. I'll just say that. Funny. We're very excited for it.
Can you describe the flavor?
It's like a white tea mixed with blossom, a little bit of pepper and cedar for like earthiness, and there's a little bit of cardamom in it. But that sounds, I guess maybe that's hard to place, but it's got this like very organic sweetness from the flower, like this earthiness from the cedar, and it's very lightly sparkling. You drink it cold, by the way. It's a cold drink, like on like kind of like a summer day. 0 calories, 0 sugar, all natural ingredients. It's delicious. I was very surprised. The company that's making it, they're experts at creating not just the brand but the taste. One of the co-founders is like kind of a renowned taste master who's like hired by these Chinese tea and tea making and tea cake companies that have to like ferment teas for like many, many, many years, and they have to be very specific about what they, you know, take in. And he had around taking in our input, just nailed it. I'm very excited about this. Have it at events, have it as something you can mint and get to your house. It's delicious. Just want to put that in there.
That's awesome. Zen NFT is delicious. When can we get our hands on it?
When tea.
When
Indeed.
tea.
I think we're doing a batch at NFT NYC. Is that still the plan, Ancient? Okay, great.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the first.
Yeah, we'll
batch.
see some. Yeah, it'll be like summer. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Perfect weather for some Zen NFT.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah, great.
So you'll be at NFT NYC then as like do you have any events planned?
We're working on that. Yeah, we're working on it. We kind of, you know, I see us as like a sanctuary in NFTs, right?
That.
So we're kind of trying to figure out that vibe. Maybe we have a couple community members who are actual bonsai experts, so bring in some real bonsai, have a chill space, because NFT NYC is insane. I don't know if you were there.
I haven't been there, sadly, but I will be going this year.
Yeah, it was total.
Oh, awesome.
It's chaotic. So to have one event where you can kind of just kick back and chill and have some tea and relax and be a little zen for a minute is that's kind of what I'm imagining we're gonna do.
That's awesome. We're planning, something kind of similar. Maybe not quite that extent with bonsais and full on relaxing, but we're gonna probably do some Zen Academy event, and the feedback I got as well was like, don't just do another event like all the other events. It's too chaotic.
Right. Yeah.
If you can do something a little chill, that's it'll be appreciated. So yeah.
Yes.
DJ set by Brian Eno.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Amazing. Well, yeah, thank you all so much. This has been wonderful, and I'd love to get you back when the Forrest Spirits are out, when
absolutely
things are pumping. Yeah.
And let us know. This was it's great to meet you. Great to finally chat with you.
Likewise,
over voice.
Yeah.
And
it's been wonderful.
Yeah, can't wait to come back.
And absolutely, yeah, I'm sure we'll do some cool things together.
Sounds good.
When FT. All right, we'll end with that. All right, there we have it. That was wonderful, wasn't it? Like I felt like I was talking to old friends, and I mean that was the first time we actually ever chatted, but it felt like I knew them, and I could just chat and talk NFTs with them for hours and hours and hours. But we obviously had to wrap it up eventually. I'm excited for the Forest Spirits. I'm so excited. I want to mint. I want all of them. I want all of them. I want an army, or just a garden rather, of these spirits and bonsais with water running through it. And it's just peaceful talking to founders who are here for more than the hype and the mania and the money, and really understand the importance of taking a break and taking it easy, taking your foot off the pedal, the important things in life, really. Anyway, you saw the video, you saw the interview, you saw what I saw, and if you enjoyed it, then amazing. I'm going to have plenty more of these for you in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming months, in the coming years. If you did like it, please like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications on. All that stuff really, really helps, and I'll see you on the next one.